What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome back to the walkthrough, and we are continuing on with the next main mission, 2 Chivalrous Heroes. So, you should have already made your way to the very first battle flag here. We are picking up right from where episode 1 finished, and the first thing we're going to do is level up. Now, as I mentioned, for now, I would suggest you focus primarily on Earth. I think early on, Earth is going to be one of the safer virtues to level in. You're free to level whatever you want. For the purpose of the walkthrough, of course, we're going to be doing Earth and using Earth-related things up until we get a chance to respec, where we're going to end up mixing it up. But for now, I would suggest going with Earth. As for our wizardry spells, over here in Wood, we are picking up Absorb Vitality, which we already grabbed the 3 points in Wood so we can use it. Over in Fire, I'm not worried about any of this stuff, but if I was leveling Fire, I would go Amplify Damage, which is you take 50% more, but deal 50% more. Over in Earth, we're going to Imposing Slab, which is going to be one of our main go-to damaging spells early on. Over in Metal, I'm going to pick up probably Venomous Discharge. I'm not going to have the points to use this yet, but Venomous Discharge and then Toxin Bubbles, these are just increasing levels of effectiveness at applying toxin to enemies. For Water, I would suggest Frozen Malice if you're following a water build. Now, as for our wizardry spells, we are putting Absorb Vitality on there. And while we can't use it yet, we're going to replace Rock Spike with Imposing Slab as soon as we get 8 over in that stat. Besides that, let's take a quick look at the gear we got coming out of the last one. Of course, you saw we got a 4-star Great Club, so we're definitely going to put that on. Even if you didn't get a 4-star Great Club, all that's going to mean is this is going to have an extra affix here. So I have Spirit Defense, Guarding, and Damage dealt in perfect condition, which is nice, but you'll be fine even without that. Now, as for the gear, I could go ahead and put on the full set here. Looking at the set, we're going to have Spirit Gain from normal attacks, damage received while attacking, Berserk Mechanic upon deflection, and melee attacks spirit damage. So, a decent set, but one thing to keep in mind with this is Berserker's Might upon deflection. That's going to be basically the amplified damage buff from fire. So this is going to cause me to take more damage, but also deal more damage. So it's a very high risk, high reward playstyle early on at this point in the game. I'm fine with that. If you're not, one thing you could consider doing, of course, is just taking off a few pieces. As you can see, if I just go for the weapon and 2 of the pieces, I have the spirit gain from normal attacks and the spirit damage received while attacking, but I've gone ahead and dropped those others. And that's one thing you could do. If you're going to go for that, you might as well go all the way to the 4 and get the 6.4% melee attack spirit damage then. So we're going to rock with that set for now. As we head on forward, we are going to be ambushed, and after we, well, not really ambushed, but once we take these 3 guys out, we're going to have a friend that'll join us. You see, this is one of the few big downsides of using a heavier weapon like this. Because the weapon is much slower, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to have the freedom to get your deflects here. If a critical attack is coming, so a bunch of enemies are going to rush down. You don't need to worry about them. They're going to run to us. Either way, it's going to transition into a cutscene, and Zhao Yun is going to show on up, and now he is with us.
I lead the forces of General Dongshan. My name is Zhao Yun. The Yellow Turbans have control of Mount Dongshan. You don't look short of confidence, but surely it would be reassuring to have an ally at your side.
Now, speaking of allies, this is the first instance of us having a reinforcement. Now, playing with reinforcements, they're going to give us a couple passive bonuses. The more we play with them, the more we're going to be able to basically level them up, make them stronger, and eventually get gear from them. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to a flag. Just to talk about this briefly, the revenge thing. So the idea here is right now I'm morale 0. If I offer a Dragon's Cure Pot, I need to use up one of my heals. I'm going to get a temporary boost to that morale. And so now I'm level 2 versus a level 1, just giving me a small advantage to that morale. This boost doesn't last all that long, but if you're about to fight an enemy and he looks a little bit harder, it might be worth considering. I'm going to go over here. Now you notice there's a couple enemies right there. We are not going to go for them just yet. Instead, we're going to circle around and get up top, as up there is going to be a rest point for us. Oh, he survived. cross, and this should be your first accessory. I know you can get one from killing the tiger, as some folks have pointed out, but we're going to have tons of accessories in a little bit here, so I wouldn't be all that concerned about going back and killing the tiger. And now just put on whatever it is. We're going to grab this. This is a shortcut that we're going to unlock later. For now, we can't really do anything with it. And you don't have to kill these 3 enemies, but if you want, because, you know, every kill is more morale, we're going to target that level 3 one. And we'll take them out. Now that we are at the battle flag, though, talking more about reinforcements and the value of them. So we use tiger seals to call them down. You're going to find tiger seals a bunch as you play. If they get knocked down, we can pick them on up. But so we can see here that Zhao Yun is basically earth. He has a spear for his weapon. He has the boldness set and the warrior effect, spirit gain from deflecting. So by having him along, that 4% spirit gain from deflecting is actually a perk that I am picking up. Now, right now, Zhao Yun is not leveled up at all. His oath level is at 1. If we get that up to 5, I gain a second warrior effect, which will help me more. And if I get up to 10, he's going to give me a 4-star version of the unparalleled spear and the full boldness set. So early on, at least, while you may not want to play with followers, and you don't have to, I can show you how to send them away in just a moment, but leveling a follower up to 10 and getting their set is a very safe way to kind of get a build going in this game. So definitely something to keep in mind. But if you don't want to play with them, if you know, for whatever reason, you just use this. You should just have been given this when you first got Zhao Yun and we got over here. The willow branch will allow you to just send him away. So you would just click use, and it's going to allow you to part ways with your companion. Same as multiplayer. If you're doing multiplayer and for some reason you summon somebody in and they're just messing around, that is how you would send them away. Go ahead and open this door. And we're going to go into this first house right here. There's a chest.
They were so starved they couldn't possibly fight back. The yellow turbans must be stopped, or our land will be ravaged.
We're going to go behind. Alright, those 2 dead. We're gonna hop up. We're grabbing a marking flag. Double jump here. And I end up falling here a lot, so just be a little bit careful when you're planting that. So we're gonna go this way. Hop on down. Hop up here. Now, this next part, what we are going to do, there's a bunch of enemies in this area, but there's a battle flag right here, and we are going to, we're going to basically bait enemies over. So if we hop up, you can see this enemy's looking at me. I'm now going to drop down, and you'll notice only that enemy, only this one enemy is coming down. So now we can empower Zhao Yun if you're not confident yourself. Another thing you can do with followers, you can hold down the R1, and you can hit up or down if you have 2. To empower them and get them to attack. Now we're going to get this guy over.
We must take down their leader to gain control of the situation. Let us go together, my ally.
Should be making his way around. There we go. We can send Zhao Yun in to attack him. You see, he's going to do most of the work for us. We don't even need to worry about this. If you want, go ahead and throw an attack in there. Ooh, a 4-star white wooden cudgel. I kind of want it. So after that, just run on up and hit the battle flag. And this is just going to give us a foothold in this area. Now, if you are uncomfortable doing that, there is another battle flag that we can get that's going to be right up over there on that cliff. And we're going to work our way over there in a moment, but that is an alternative one that you could get to just to kind of have a foothold in this area. Personally, I find the method we just used to be relatively harm-free. I mean, you saw how we were able to, one dude came over, both situations were, I think, pretty straightforward in terms of taking them out. There wasn't much threat there, in my opinion. We'll go on up here, grab a little shiny. Now, as for the archers, these guys will shoot very quick. So if you're gonna try and shoot them, you want to constantly be moving and then just stop on the head. Because me just trying to go like this and zoom in, I'll constantly be getting hit over and over again trying to do that. So there's something to be aware of there. But we're gonna go up here and get another marking flag. So go inside this house. We got the chest. It's rank 1 steel. Oops. And then hop up onto the roof. And then we're gonna hop over here. Hop up onto this roof. And we're gonna drop down over here. Where we have a marking flag. So it's gonna boost our fortitude rank up. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this chest. And we're gonna open this. Now there's a couple more enemies that we're gonna take out. You can see 2 of them are right there. Before we go for them, over here would have been that one guy that we killed previously. Here's another one, so let's go up and get this guy. And this is kind of a path I would take if you didn't want to go for that battle flag we got. Instead of, after you get that first marking flag, you can come this way, kill that enemy, and then hop up on this roof, and you're going to work your way around. Up, up, up. Over here, get the elixir. We're not going to worry about it. I'll talk about that in a second. Always plunge the higher level guy. See, you had just barely not enough damage to finish him, so we just threw out the blasting flare. That's why I'm such a fan of that ability. It's consistently good in a variety of circumstances. So right here, there's going to be a couple different enemies going to try and attack you. Instead, I'm going to run up this way. And this is going to bring you to that other flag that I previously mentioned. Go ahead and get this. I wouldn't rest just yet, because resting is going to respawn everything, so don't worry about resting for the time being. Instead, we are going to go this way. Get the wolf. Oh, trying to get up on the roof. It's a little bit tricky here, but you can double jump and get up like that. You don't have to do this. This is just going to make it even easier, because up ahead there's going to be an enemy. Oh, there we go. Managed to just kind of drop off the roof and get that critical hit there. Take him out. And then this roof, I believe we can get on top of, if I'm not confusing my roofs. Yes. So get this. And then we're going to go up here. You can talk to this guy. Here's a little bit of dialogue. We got a chest in here. And then we can climb on top of this, and we can see another higher level enemy waiting. Man, came in, thought he was going to do the critical. Did not work out in his favor. Alright, and with that, we have cleared out everything that was here. So this whole area has been swept. It's giving us the bow tutorial, like we didn't already kill that guy. So this is obviously going to respawn enemies, but go ahead and rest. We'll level up. There we go. Getting ever closer to that 8 earth for my new spell. Then we're going to proceed on ahead. There's going to be a ambush that is immediately right here. Let's see, this guy's kind of waiting for us. Creep around the corner and you'll be able to take it out. I forgot about that little shiny. Let's go get that. A lot of this stuff is genuine key fragment. Main thing is I've written down all the location of like upgrade mats, key items that you want to get, guaranteed accessory spawn, stuff like that. I'm not all that worried about key fragments. A key fragment is worth like 100, and he's got 103 from killing that guy, so. There we go. As for throwing knives, you can put those on right here. Basically, this is big ranged weapons, bow, crossbow, stuff like that. And then these are going to be minor weapons. Throwing knives, poison knives, firebomb pots. at this split right here. That's actually a trap going that way, so don't go there for now. Instead, we're going to make a right. And we're going to head up here. It's going to be a few enemies and another marking flag that we can get. Alright, and now we have a fortitude rank of 10, which will be useful for the upcoming boss. Now up ahead, as I mentioned, this is a trap, and this is a really good demonstration of just how powerful deflect is as a tool. You can see that? You're able to deflect right through that trap. And you can deflect traps, you can deflect enemies, you can deflect explosions, pretty much anything. Let's go ahead and pick up the arrows. Now you'll see a path up there. That is going to be for like an elite enemy, and it's basically a makeshift trap for now. We're not going to do that for the time being. We can approach that after the boss that we're about to fight, and basically kill all the other enemies that are assisting the elite up there, and then get a death blow from behind. So you can see there's a path right here. Just ignore it for now. We're going to go into that in a little bit. Right up here is the boss. Before we do that, we're going to go on over here. And we're going to kick this down. Alright, up next we're going to have Zhu Yan. This is a monkey. The monkey, I believe he's fire element attuned. But fairly simple fight. You're going to end up fighting this guy a lot. He's a mini boss here, but he's going to be a normal enemy. Kind of moving on from this point. But he has two real deflect attacks you want to look out for. One is going to be a large slam attack. You'll see him kind of pound both fists on the ground. He's going to go pound, pound, and then he's going to jump in the air, do a flip, and then do a big pound. And that big pound transitions into a grab attack. Anyway, point is, you want to go deflect, deflect, delay for a second, and then deflect the big slam as it comes down. The other is almost like a springboard. He basically plants his hands, leans back like he's stretching, and then launches forward. For that one, I would suggest deflecting either into the ability or backwards if you're a little bit late on your deflection. As long as you're able to avoid those two attacks, this should be a pretty easy win, just deflecting those and getting spirit attacks in. Deflecting some of his basic attacks now. There's the springboard. I'm going to follow up and get a big heavy attack and go right into the critical. You can really see the potency of that berserker effect right now. Slam. Is he going to do the next slam? Next time? Because of how slow my weapon is, I'm really prioritizing defense here. You can see the delay. I'm going to go for my spirit attack. He's stunned again. And we'll go for another critical. You can see I'm basically playing on just purely defensive here. Attack. Attack. Kick it and spirit attack. You can see how all we're doing is we're waiting for that big deflect moment, and when we get that, that's when we're following up with a spirit attack, which is usually stunning him because I have the berserker effect active. Just going for Zhao Yun. We're going to actually empower Zhao Yun here, have him to attack. He's going to do his unique spear move. Heal up real fast. Couldn't let Zhao Yun down like that. I'd obviously show off my skills and rescue him. With this, though, we are going to form a bond with Zhao Yun and receive his divine beast. The first divine beast that we actually receive, as we didn't get to keep the first one. Now, if you went through the tutorial that I mentioned, of course, it's going to go through all of this. Triangle and circle will summon the divine beast, which is usually a more damage-based effect, whereas square and X is going to be resonation. What that's going to do is buff you and your allies with an effect based on that divine beast.
Demons to be among them.
But with him dead, we're ready to just head on through. So go ahead, hit this flag. And we're going to go ahead and spend all of the genuine chi that we just earned. And do we have enough? Oh, so close. So very close. So we're going to actually go to inventory and maybe enough. You know, I'll just use all 5 of those. I know that's enough now. And now that we have hit 8 Earth, we're going to go to wizardry spells. We're able to learn more. Moving on from here, from lightning, if you want to go buff centric, you could go this way, which inner breath is actually really nice. So we're going to work our way towards that. On the fire side of things, we're going to get burning flame wave. For earth, we already got the main spell that we want. The next one I would work towards is either deathly bog or sand sink. This is going to lock people in place. This is going to group enemies up. I think deathly bog is a little bit better, so we'll grab mighty shockwave and then we'll get deathly bog next. As for metal from here, go over here to have toxin bubbles on deck. And as for water, we're going to work our way down the right side of the tree. So we're going to go to set spells, and we're going to replace rock spike with imposing slab, which is just an upgraded, much better version of that same ability. And then from here, we are going to hop on up, and we will loot there. What was? What the heck? Where did you come from? Oh, that's my steel. It's very important. Here we have the blacksmith.
I don't believe you're from around here. Well, it's
now the blacksmith is eventually going to be at the hub, which will make it too soon. But in the meantime, there are 2 main things that I want to point out the blacksmith. The first, of course, is we have access to the storehouse now. So I can go to stuff like this and send to the storehouse, so it's not taking up inventory. Basically, the pre-order stuff. If you know, you're not gonna ever use it, might as well send it to the storehouse just to get it out of the way. Which, like I said, if you have this, I would suggest using it, but I'm shipping it out as I won't be. Now, right now, the only function we really have is sell, buy, and upgrade. As for selling, for the most part, you're not going to need to worry about selling. It is a good way to get copper, but we're going to be better off breaking down and then selling, which we'll talk about a little bit later. As for buying, the only real value of buy here, one is going to be consumable type stuff, which you can see the only thing she has right now is bear gall, but it could give you an idea on different weapons. So for example, if you want to level wood, looking through this list, we can see that straight swords are going to have good wood scaling, cudgels are going to have good wood scaling. We can see that using dual swords or bronze spear is going to potentially work out with wood as well. So don't consider this list comprehensive, but it should give you a starter idea of stuff that you may want to start working towards. For now, at least, if you do have a weapon that's working out well, in our case, the Great Club of Polaris is doing quite well. Alternatively, I could go for the White Wooden Cudgel, which I haven't even looked. What are the abilities on here? We have Dragon Flash, which I like a lot, and then a Plummeting Ape. Ooh, Jumping Kick. That does sound pretty good. And eventually we're going to transition to using something like that. Damage with negative effects. We'll upgrade the Great Club for the time being. We have enough steel to upgrade 2 weapons, so just pick one. What I would suggest doing is one weapon that you're liking right now. Just put it up to +1 and then hang on to the rest of the steel, as I think it's best to focus on just one weapon for the time being, and then we're gonna establish a proper build a little bit later.
Fallen to ruin now serves the yellow turbans as a base.
So we're gonna jump up, kill this guy
with uncanny accuracy.
And then after taking him out, we're actually going to go down this way. And we're going to take that side path that I had previously talked about, go over there and kill some enemies. Just follow this around.
This is a fearsome enemy here.
And let's go on up and beat down all of the zombies. Not going to get him just yet. Yeah, you can see just how many people ended up getting killed by this guy. People come here and they try to fight that enemy, and then even if they get him, they're usually getting a bunch of fire bombs and stuff thrown at them. We get this flag much later. We don't cut down those vines or anything, so don't worry about that. Right on here, we have another enemy that's looking to ambush.
My allies and the people.
Get another elixir. Now we have a clear opportunity to jump down and critical this enemy and take him on out. Hit him. Next we're going to empower Zhao Yun for the attack, and we're going to start casting out some of our earth, or alternatively just attacking him while he's focused on Zhao Yun. And with him done, we are able to pop open the chest, get some loot from it, and of course raise another battle flag. Alright, with that our fortitude rank is up to 15, and we can spend a little bit more. So we still have the boss of this zone, the main boss, and on top of that there's actually a side mission that's going to open up after we get through this. So we're going to wrap things up here for the time being. In the next episode we're going to complete the rest of this level, and then we're going to do the side mission, because typically every time you finish a main mission, a side mission opens up. And just in terms of leveling up, I would like to fit in a side mission with its associated main mission, as opposed to us burning through a main mission per episode and then trying to do all 3 side missions at the end. So we'll wrap things up here. Next episode we are going to be taking on the big boar, I believe it's a Fuzi, and then we're going to also be knocking out a side mission with some loot. So stay tuned, and I will catch you all then.